Welcome back to another episode of Whiskey and Water.
We are back at it again, motherfuckers. Hope you had a
Jeez,
that was aggressive. Sorry, we've had a lot of colada, and I'm like, whew, all right,
cracked.
Going through my blood. Hope you guys had a great weekend. And my bowels. My blood and my bowels, yes.
Please just visualize that for a second.
Ew, please don't. What the fuck? Okay. Hope you guys had a great weekend. The most awkward intro we've ever done.
This reminds me of the dildos comment the other comment.
And the seeing through people's clothes. Yeah. Okay.
We just get weird sometimes.
Yeah, it happens. You know what?
It happens when we have too much colada.
It does.
Our inner freak comes out.
Things are said that we don't mean, and it happens. Okay, so gonna reel this back in. We'll do a little bit of catch up. How was your weekend? How's your week? How are you? I'm on crack.
Crackhead energy. I'm great.
Yay.
I've been feeling good. I've been feeling grounded, taking care of myself, taking care of my intellectual self.
Okay.
Taking care of my spiritual self.
Self-care.
I've been in these
little foreshadowing.
Yeah. I've been taking these classes that I told you guys about. So I'm in the sacred medicine class, and I'm taking this class, same like group, but a different teacher. And it's called, it's like on the masculine versus feminine energies, which you might kind of like think about and you're like, oh, well, it's about like men versus women, but it has like so little to do with that and just more about energy itself and kind of like identifying, your patterns and fixing yourself. And yeah, I've been learning a lot and it's been dope. And the sacred medicine class has been great. I'm like 6 classes in now and I've learned so much.
I want to know. You haven't really shared much with me.
Once I'm done, then I'll kind of probably do even like a recap for you guys and just speak about. And I think at the end of the sacred medicine class, we're all going to have a ceremony together.
Do you like do a graduation?
Pretty much, yeah, right?
Ceremony?
Yeah. And so after that, I'll talk about it more.
Okay.
Because I just feel like
looking forward to it.
Definitely want to share. And I think even like the guy who's teaching it would be great to have on and talk about it.
Yes.
Let us know if that's something that you guys would be interested in.
And also, if you are listening to this and if we've made you smile so far, please take a screenshot and share it on your stories and tag us.
Yeah.
And we will repost it. But I did realize a few weeks ago that if your account is private, we cannot see your post. So I am sorry. We are not ignoring you. We just literally don't even know that you're posting.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to learning from you and just kind of like knowing more about that stuff because I'm really like have no idea.
Yeah.
But it is super interesting. Yeah. So this past weekend, well, not this weekend, but a few weekends ago, I did a commercial for Universal for a new hotel they have opening up. And that was fun. It was a 2-day shoot and so if you guys have listened to the past few episodes, you know that I was reading the book Many Lives, Many Masters, which Jess recommended to me because she had just read it. And after my grandma died, she gave it to me and she was like, I really think this will help you in your healing, process, in your grieving process. And it really, really did. We've talked about the book before. I've explained to you guys that it's like totally eye-opening.
Go listen to our past episodes.
Yes. But I finished the book on set. And while I was on set, another cast member who I was working with, a friend of mine, Brian, was like, oh, that book is so interesting. I haven't read it, but I've heard good things about it. There's this place called Casadega, which is like 40 minutes north, which apparently is like the biggest spiritual town. Yeah, it has like it has the highest number of like psychics or like ghost
spiritual experiences.
Yeah, like the occurrences. There's like a hotel there that's apparently haunted. But
that I don't fuck with.
But yeah, it's like a psychic town. Like that's what it's known for. Whatever. He was saying that he went to a psychic the day before to check it out and he like really felt like she was on point. So it got me kind of thinking like, once we did the numerology episode, I have been like paying more attention to signs and stuff and trying to be more open to things like that. So I was like, well, maybe this is a sign that I finished reading this on set. Like maybe I should go. So I decided to stay another night and I went up to this town, Casadega, and I met with a psychic. I don't want to get you guys excited because I think the psychic was totally full of shit. Like everything she said was wrong. Like she was like
what?
For example, she was like, so you grew up very religious. I'm like, no. She's like, your partner's religious. I'm like, No.
Did you tell her, like, were you, like, kind of straight up? Were you, like, calling her on her shit type
I mean,
shit?
like, it wasn't, like, awkward because I was being friendly. And granted, I went into this very open-minded, knowing that it could flop or it could be an amazing experience. But I was, like, dedicated to the experience either way. So I had already mentally prepared myself to not get anything out of it, too. But and then she was like, you have a close relationship with your father. And I was like, not really.
You're like, sorry, sweetie, this ain't it.
Yeah. So like once like she kind of lost me after a few things, I was like, okay, no. But the whole experience was worth it because before I had gone to see her, I stayed at this Airbnb the night before and I, did my little research. I was like, what to do before meeting with a psychic. And it was saying that, you should meditate. And she was like psychic/medium. Like, I don't know. They all kind of do things like that. So they were saying, like, if you want anyone specific to come through, like, think of them, talk to them, make notes of things that you want to happen or things to talk about, questions to ask. So before I went, I did a little meditation, I did a little stretching, I did my essential oils, and I just, like, wanted to feel grounded and clear-minded. And I wrote down that I wanted my grandma to come through. And I actually felt something in me to write her a letter. So I started journaling in my journal and I literally, I was writing her a letter. I said, Nanny, I love you. I think of you. The first thing I said was, I'd love to hear from you today. And I finished off the letter. I'm like, I hope you're dancing high in the clouds. Whenever I love you, I miss you, yada, yada. So I write this. I really feel like in my heart, I'm giving her this letter, right? And something in me wanted to take a photo of it. So I grabbed my phone and cause the shadows were pretty and the pool was right there and the lighting was pretty. So I grabbed my phone, I turned to take the picture. Bro, it was not windy at all. This page, just this one page fucking flips. Not even ripple flip, not even a page in a page. I can't explain it, but it's so...
I have goosebumps all over my body.
Wait. It so intentionally flipped. It just fucking smacked the other page. And I literally was shook. It was as soon as I even saw the frame in my phone flipped, I was like, oh, I just there's no denying it.
Yeah.
I felt it. I don't know. I was just
you see me right now?
No, it's crazy.
Everywhere.
It's crazy. So I was like, okay, hi. I took it as a sign,
Hey.
Bro, I look up in the sky. Literally, a plane is writing, love you. And I'm like, I just start bawling, crying.
Oh my God.
I'll show you the picture after. It is it was the most insane thing ever. And it's so funny because my mom and my sister had been getting signs and I haven't gotten anything yet. We were joking because after they told me they got their signs, I was they were look out for yours. And I was hovering over a toilet peeing a few weeks ago and the fucking hand dryer turned on and I was like, Nanny? Literally my pants are down. And then I was I don't think that was, but this was so undeniably signs. The fact that I went to that Airbnb, which was way out of the way randomly, the timing of me being out there, the timing of the plane writing love you in the sky.
You had written the letter for her.
And I let the page sit there for 10 minutes. No other pages turned. It was not windy out. Cause I wanted to just test it.
Yeah.
It was not fucking windy. It was crazy. I was sobbing and it was just so nice because and that's why the whole experience of the psychic, being full of shit, kind of it was worth it for me just to have that moment and know that there's another world out there that we can't fucking see, but we can feel.
Another astral plane.
And they can feel us. So yeah, I didn't tell you about that. I wanted to save it for the pod.
Yeah,
but
that's beautiful.
It was so special.
So I'm so glad that you had that experience.
Me
dude.
too. You're gonna trip out when you see the photos because it's just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Since I lost my grandma, I've had a couple moments where I just felt her presence so strongly, but nothing that strong.
Ask and you shall receive.
Love that.
Okay, we're gonna go into our pro tip. This is so stupid, but I had friends over a few nights ago and my friend's boyfriend said this and I was honestly, that makes a great pro tip. He said that one time his cat shit or pissed on his bed and he was so mad about it that he started pissing in the cat's litter box and the cat never ever did it again.
What the fuck?
I don't know if this works, but it is a theory. If your cat is peeing on your stuff, pee in its litter box. And show your dominance.
Establish your dominance to your cat.
Honestly,
cats are fuckers.
It kind of makes sense, though. I could see that working. What do you think?
What do you think, Zach?
I could see it going terribly. The cat could be like a little more strong-minded than that cat, and
just starts
piss on your whole
everything
life.
on your
it's like
life.
pissing on your face in the middle of the night.
Oh my god! But yeah, you guys try it, see if it works.
Get back to us.
Let us know.
All right, so now we're gonna get into our discussion, which we prefaced a little bit, which is
we foreshadowed,
whatever. So it is self-care.
Yes, self-care, and then later in the conversation,
was I aggressive when I said that?
No.
When I was like, whatever.
No.
Okay, because I didn't want to I didn't want to have that feeling. Love you. I just didn't want to be like that.
I told her she can be aggressive about some things, and she's working on it.
I'm working on it.
See? Okay, so later in the conversation, we're going to talk about self-care versus self-sabotage.
Yes.
Which came up as an idea for a topic really organically. I literally was, the biggest struggle of my life thus far. And my worst habit that I'm working on breaking is waking up early and not staying in bed. So this came to me while I was...
Well, she's trying to break staying in bed, but she's trying to wake up early.
My problem is I am up, I just don't want to start the day.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of being depressed or sad or anything. It's just my bed
bitch.
I'm not even sleepy. I'm comfortable. Mm-hmm. It is my safe place. It is my safe place. It is a warm. I am warm burrito. Why would I ever want to fucking leave?
She's thinking about it right now.
But yeah, so it came to me. I was like, I'm really so sabotaging myself because the rest of the morning I'm fucking rushing and forgetting shit and not eating healthy breakfast and forgetting to put bars in my bag. But in the moment I'm like, I need this 10 minutes extra to lay in bed. I'm taking care of myself, but really I'm just sabotaging myself. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into that. That's going to be the later part of our discussion. But for now, let's talk about self-care.
Yeah, I mean, especially I feel like a lot of these topics are coming up naturally for us, which I like because, starting this podcast, within the first few months, we were struggling with self-care. Yeah. And not to mention we had so much, what?
I am bald.
She's balding.
I literally, guys, there's a point during my home renovation and when we were busting ass on the podcast, dude, I started to lose hair. Straight up.
I saw someone do the same thing, pull their baby hairs out, and they were like, oh, look at all this new hair growth. So I don't know if it's new hair growth or if you're literally just losing hair.
I don't know either.
We're trying to figure it out, but, we're going to get her on some...
I am balding
what's the shit that
by
you
the
got?
minute.
What's the shit that you got, Tyler?
I got Tyler fucking Rogaine for Christmas, like a dick.
And she's like, no, I'm sorry using that shit.
Yeah, right? No, women can't use it. It's really dangerous for women to use it.
Oh, weird.
Isn't that weird? Anywho, if you guys have any good hair growth supplements, the thing is I have the supplements. I just don't fucking take them.
Some castor oil.
Regardless.
What is it? Black castor oil?
Yeah, enough about my balding.
Yeah. Anyway, back to self-care.
Yeah.
So we were definitely struggling with the self-care, finding a balance between the work.
It's hard.
It was exhausting, but we're now at a better place and definitely taking time for ourselves. And what self-care looks like for us is, it can be anything from doing a grow at the beach and
God,
laying.
Love doing a grow.
That's our thing.
We call and this came about when we were working our corporate job, when we would be our souls would just be dying a slow death in the cold fluorescent lit office with no windows. Oh no, they had windows, but they didn't open. And we'd just go outside and sit in the sun for 5 minutes and be we're doing a grow.
Defrost mentally and
get
physically.
that the sun rays. It was just healthy. We could feel it.
Yeah, and some days it's that. It's going outside and just literally getting some vitamin D on your skin. And some days it's you holding yourself accountable or getting ahead on your work or being honest with yourself and being honest with others. And I feel like self-care isn't always a nap or a pedicure, although it definitely can be.
Yeah.
But it's doing things that fulfill you instead of draining you.
And I think the whole self-care movement is like something that's kind of trendy right now. It's like, you see a lot of memes, or like even in the home decor stores that say like, eat the cupcake, buy the shoes. But really it's like, well, I mean, if it's going to put you in debt, self-care is not buying the shoes. Like sometimes self-care is buying the shoes, and sometimes it's not. And so we're going to have a conversation. And I hope to leave this conversation with a better sense of understanding the fine line myself, because I know it's something we struggle with. But yeah, sometimes it's either way. And there is a way to have harmony we were talking about, and finding the balance between those decisions.
And so the word harmony kind of came about recently to me, and it really resonated with me because in this energy class that I'm taking, he was like, you know what, someone said balance, and he was like, you know what, I'm not huge on the word balance. He goes, I'm a fan of the word harmony, because balance, insinuates that everything needs to be equal. It's this and this, but harmony, insinuates that there's a little bit of this and there's a little bit of that, and which I feel like I mean, I love that. And I feel like, I don't know, it just really landed for me.
Yeah.
And
no, I get it, because it's like think of a pie chart. Like the 4 aspects of your life don't have to be equally quarters. They could, if something is 70%, it's 70%.
Yeah. But that's,
but as long as it's working in harmony with the other aspects of your life, that's when it's like a good balance.
Yeah.
But not balance in the sense that it has to be 50-50.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think like just taking time for yourself, it's not just like a nice to have thing, it's a need to have thing. It is necessary.
It's a necessity.
It's a necessity to our health and our well-being. And like, people are so burnt out these days. I know, like, watching my mom grow up, she was a single mom with a bunch of jobs, and she worked production, so she was coming home late at night, and she hit a point where she got burnt out. She was hospitalized, like, and that's the thing. It's like you really, like, nothing will slow you down more than a burnout will.
Yeah.
So like making it a priority and really making space in your day for taking care of yourself and taking care of the things in your life. And we'll go into different categories, because as we were researching, which we didn't even think of before, but there are different categories to self-care. So we'll elaborate more on that. But I just, I know a lot of moms struggle with mom guilt and like,
the guilt associated with taking
care of yourself. And it's like,
you can't pour from an empty cup.
You need to self-care.
Yeah.
Like if you are stressed, if you are burnt out, you need to reevaluate the time in your day, the energy that you're putting into different things. Like it is
see what's draining you the most, and kind of see how you can pivot from there. But
like for me, and we also have said self-care could be whatever it looks like to you, like something that just refills you energetically, spiritually, whatever it is. So like for me, thinking about it, like I know I'm going to go down a list. These are the things that I know I will take the time to do and cut out distractions and prioritize, because I know it's like good for me.
Yeah.
And it's taking care of myself. So like reading for sure is self-care. Stretching. I know my body feels good when I stretch, and it feels like tight and condensed when it's not. So when I haven't stretched in a long time, I know I need to go to get a good stretch in. I keep lavender oil in my bag, in my makeup bag, and it's great if you like keep it places where you can see it, because it reminds you. So yeah, sometimes if I'm feeling overwhelmed, even if I'm not, I'll dab lavender oil, kind of rub it in my hands, take a few deep breaths in, and then I'll like rub it on my chest, on my stomach, on my neck. I give it
roll your neck around.
It kind of just reminds you to like take a second, take a deep breath, and just have a moment for yourself.
Yeah.
And even like when I'm around people, I offered around like lavender oil, and they're all like, and then there's 5 of us doing it, and we're all like, oh, this feels good, thank you. I definitely like saying no more is a big self-care thing for me. Setting energetic boundaries. Cooking is great. I love, like, and the thought of it is not great, but then when I start doing it, I like enjoy doing things with my hands, and then like eating
doing
a good
something
meal.
that nourishes your body.
Yeah, eating a good meal, even cleaning sometimes is self-care for me. Like, no, if I have a pigsty at home, that is fucking with my head.
And not to mention, like, just because self-care always doesn't have to be things that, like, you necessarily want to do either.
Yeah.
Like, cleaning your room, like, I dread cleaning my room. But when I do it,
it is taking care of yourself.
It's taking care of myself. Like, even working out. Like, and it's like what you said, like, the thought of it, it's like, fuck, I don't want to go murder my body.
Right.
But the minute I'm like there and I'm after it and I'm seeing results, like, that's self-care, dude. Like,
I love that you said that. That's a great point to make. It's not always going to feel like a massage.
Yeah.
Basically. I put cuddling because that is, like, for me, the physical touch is very, like, grounding for me and
for sure.
refreshing. I literally feel like I'm recharging a battery. And digital boundaries is definitely a big form of self-care for me.
Love that you said that.
Yeah, because I will feel myself on my, like, unnecessarily on Instagram when I don't need to be, and really, like, taking a second to acknowledge that and turning my phone off and putting it away and taking a walk without my phone, being outside and leaving my phone inside. You know, it's little things like that that I know are important to my mental health and, like, my just psyche throughout the day.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, I always feel so much more refreshed on a Monday when I have taken that break from
a nice Sunday,
from our No Social Sundays.
Yeah, and we're gonna do a whole episode on that soon too. Kind of just like digital detox and how it's really important.
Especially in this day and age.
Oh my god! You know, it's so. We'll save it. We'll save it. Okay, so yeah, we did some research, and there are different types of self-care.
And some are more.
One of which
she just chugged her colada. God, you're a psychopath.
Different types of self-care.
Self-care is colada shots.
Being a crackhead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and some of these you might already do, but, like, a lot of these, like, we didn't realize, like,
I did not realize. It was like she found this article and I was like, we both were like, wow, we've never seen it like this. It's such a good point.
Yeah, and we got it from Medium, so we'll put this in the show notes.
So you guys can read the article.
But we kind of just want to go through them and what it looks like to us.
I'll read off the list first. So there's physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, social, and the last one is safety and security.
Those are the different types of self-care.
Yeah, those are, like, the different types. And really, when I started to think about this, I was like, that's so true, because I, even without even thinking much into it, immediately knew something came to my mind of like, oh yeah, that's what I do for social self-care. That's what I do for emotional self-care. So physical, what would you say yours is?
Physical for me was making the investment to my trainer. Which then forced me to take my fitness seriously, because I stay in the gym, like, I do my classes here and there, but as far as, like, having that routine and knowing that, like, if I don't show up to a training session, I'm losing money.
You're losing money. Sometimes it takes that.
It really does
to hold yourself accountable.
And not that I don't want to condone just, like, spending money. Like, if you can do it by yourself, definitely try that out. But for me, like, this was definitely my game changer.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm on month 2, and I've seen crazy results.
Gain train.
I'm on the gain train, bitch.
Let's go.
So, like, that was physical self-care for me. And, it goes beyond, exercise. It can be, like, some of the notes that the article had was, like, making an informed decision to take medication, or discovering what gives you sexual pleasure.
Ooh, so love that.
Masturbation is physical self-care.
Hell
bitch.
Yeah, brother.
You love to see it.
Self-care for yourself.
Self-care, self-love.
Self-care, self-love, baby.
Self-love.
So for me, my physical, aspects were definitely making sure that I'm eating enough throughout the day.
Getting dick.
That too. Getting that meat, you know what I mean? Getting that protein. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hell yeah, brother. Anyways, eating throughout the day, like I said, not that I intentionally skip meals, but, we get busy. I always end up skipping lunch. So for me, like, making sure I'm thinking ahead.
Right now we're skipping lunch.
Oh yeah, we literally just skipped lunch right now.
Yeah.
But making sure I'm planning ahead and packing a meal, or just thinking about that. So just making sure I'm, getting enough calories throughout the day. And also even, like, getting enough rest is super important to me. Like, I'm not someone who can function on 4 hours of sleep. Like, I know some people can do that. Kudos to you. I fucking wish I could, honestly, but I'm someone who needs at least 8 to 9 hours, like, every night to be like my best version in the morning. Which then it's tough for me.
I used to be that bitch that could operate on 4 hours of sleep, and
in
now
high school I did it.
I cannot be bothered.
We're old now.
I like anyone tries to, like, if it's like a weekday,
Oh no.
and I have a shoot at like, or if I have a training session at like 8:30 or 9, which isn't that early.
Yeah.
But you cannot tempt me with anything.
Yeah, no.
You could, oh, this person's fucking playing at Live. Good for them.
Don't give a fuck.
Couldn't care less, brother.
Could not care less. Now that you said that, in high school I did do it. I don't know how the fuck I did it, but I did do it.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Well,
I think we all kind of did.
I was also very sleep deprived and slept everywhere all the time. I would like sleep at lunch on the floor. It was not healthy.
Yeah.
The next one is emotional. So this, in the notes they have, identifying, accepting, and expressing your feelings is essential to feeling balanced. So for me, this basically means like, I'm someone who, if something's bothering me or something's on my heart or my chest, I cannot, like, why would I go another minute with that on my chest? I'd rather have a really hard discussion with someone and feel better about it. Like, I can't harp on things like that energetically, emotionally. I can't do it.
I mean, we talked about this a little last week on the, what was it? Sticking up for yourself episode.
Yeah.
It's like, it's little things like that. Like, even, it doesn't even have to be like someone like attacking you, or you don't really even have to necessarily be sticking up for yourself, but like, if a friend like said something that like rubbed you the wrong way, or I mean, it could even be out of love. Like, if someone like has been like showing you a lot of love lately, or you're really proud of your friend, like, dude, don't hold those things in.
Yeah. Oh, people love to know that they're being thought of, that they're being considered, that they're valid. Like, anytime I think of a friend, it always happens when I'm driving and I usually forget to text them. But when I do think of a friend, I love texting them. Hey, thinking of you. Hope all is well. And for them, that's good. That's like emotional self-care for them too, because that's so nice being thought of,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like, especially when I feel like something needs to be said, or I'm in an icky argument with someone, like, self-care for me is having that tough discussion, and then I can sleep better at night.
Speaking your truth in general, I feel like you can't, it's like, and it's also like an energetic boundary. Like, you have to respect yourself. You have to,
because then resentment builds, and nobody wants that.
Exactly. Yeah. And something that I learned in one of these classes that I'm taking recently is that he said something about like if you feel something on your heart, like, and it's kind of just like a whisper, and it's like, oh, that bothered me the wrong way, and you continue to ignore it, that whisper will turn into a scream.
Facts.
Like, so why not deal with it when it's a whisper?
I love that, because I think we so easily write things off. Like, I know I do that, but as I've gotten older and as I've learned more about myself, I definitely have been more aware and like conscientious of that little voice, even if it's just one little thing, and you want to ignore it, but I'm telling you guys, listen to that shit, because it's trying to tell you something.
And even beyond speaking your truth, I found this quote that I really, really liked, which was, real self-care is all about digging into the roots of your insecurities or your stressors and facing them instead of running from them.
Yeah, which just goes again to say that, like, it's not always gonna feel great. It's not always gonna be a foot rub, Yeah.
Like,
it's deeper than that. There's levels.
You have to do the work.
There's levels to this shit.
Like, part of my emotional self-care was, doing a sacred medicine ceremony and having to face my demons and purge my demons. Like, it wasn't fun. Like, that's why I kind of make the distinction between sacred medicine and recreational drugs, because when you take them with that intention, it's not fun.
That's true. That's a really good point to make.
You do the work so that you can reap the benefits after. Like, I'm clearing out these demons and these stressors and all this trauma so that I can make room for new energy,
love, joy, positivity.
Love
that. So going into the next one, spiritual self-care.
Ties in a little bit.
In their notes, it says finding what gives you deeper meaning and purpose, however you choose to define it. So like, for me, I would relate this to being out in nature. Definitely is a huge form of self-care for me. meditation and also reading, because a lot of what I read is spiritual.
Yeah,
And
I
I find so much healing and grounding in reading those type of books.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely the reading. Like, that's what kickstarted our spiritual journeys was reading. And
which, by the way, if you haven't listened to our personal development and living with intention episode, which is episode 4, peep that. We have an amazing conversation about like pretty much this, and reading and our journeys and listening to podcasts and yada yada.
even in the numerology episode,
Go peep it.
We go into that a little bit. I mean, obviously it's a huge part of our lives.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't have like this spiritual self-care, like I feel like I'm not grounded at all.
Need it. And I wish I was meditating more.
Same.
Because I know that I feel the most cared for when I'm meditating. Like the most.
And I would say, and I mean, I know that you have your own practice, but and I think I've touched on this before in one episode, but I use the app.
Yes.
What's it called? Do you know what it's called?
Calm. There's like 2 that are really big.
There's a few. It's called Headspace,
Headspace,
which I really enjoy and I love. And actually, I'm stupid because I paid $75 for the upgraded version of the year, and I haven't been using it.
Bitch,
I know
that's a lot.
It's like
for an app. Holy crap!
But it's like you get unlimited meditations,
Ooh, that's
and it was one of those things where it's like if I
not an ad,
yeah, right,
but could be
if I pay for it, like I
hold yourself accountable.
But it's like I have to like make a note of it.
Yeah, because you forget.
I want to write like, bitch,
write
you
it
paid
down.
$75 for this.
Yeah, write it down somewhere you can see it every day.
Use it, ho.
Yeah.
I actually recently paid for ClassPass too, which
oh shit,
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm wild.
You're really trying to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, just spend all your money.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really enjoy using that because it's guided and it's really easy to get into. Like they have literally meditation for beginners. Like I really enjoy it. But other than that, like I'd say like the spiritual classes that I take are definitely spiritual self-care, journaling.
Yeah. Journaling is big.
Yeah.
Taking a moment to just see where you're at and thinking like intentionally and living intentionally.
I need to get back into my 5-minute journal that you gave me.
Yes,
I was on that for a minute and I
need
really enjoyed it.
To be completely transparent and honest, I need to get back into my whole little thing. Sorry.
She keeps brushing things off the
crumbs.
table.
There's crumbs on the table and I'm
She
just
keeps brushing
flicking
them onto my legs. That, and then, of course, the sacred medicine definitely goes into the spiritual self-care too.
The next one is intellectual self-care, which is, to me, that means like learning new things, which is interesting because I recently, like a few weeks ago, I just felt all these thoughts in my head of things that I wanted to do, the topics that I wanted to look more into, things that I wanted to research. I felt it all in my head. So I kind of just word vomited out a bunch of lists into my journal. And I made a whole list of things that I want to learn, like within the next however many months or a year. And it was just interesting because it was like random stuff. So like one was like learning Photoshop, not Photoshop. Was it Photoshop? Yeah, Photoshop for like just being able to make digital things and digital graphics.
Yeah.
But stuff like that. But then also like I wanted to look more into essential oils and things like that. Like that I'm just curious about, but I need to take the time and invest the energy into actually doing and learning.
For sure. I mean, the intellectual self-care for me is definitely one that falls on the back burner.
Yeah.
Like, I had to really think about like, what the hell am I doing? But I mean,
same.
every
what am I doing? What are we all doing?
Every year, I put together like my personal goals and like things that I've had on that is like, reading more books, just like listening to more podcasts, like that's intellectual help and stimulation. And I've wanted to get more into Lightroom and Photoshop and I've done a little bit of that, but yeah, dude, it takes a lot of time.
And I think anything that expands your mind in a way that you're not typically used to or is out of the norm would be considered intellectual self-care.
Yeah.
Even like it has had in the notes, instead of watching a reality TV show, watching a documentary or a docuseries on Netflix. Like that's always super interesting to like learn about how shit works.
Does The Office count as a documentary? Because I'm watching it for my 4th time.
I wouldn't quite consider it, but hey, that's your self-care.
That honestly,
That is a form of your self-care.
and no one can tell me otherwise.
She feels very strongly about this.
Like, and just to even like expand on that, because I don't know if I'll get the opportunity, but like the opportunity. This is our language that we've developed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like when I like, you know, a lot of the times I've like kind of guilted myself because I'll have a busy ass day, and if I'm having a meal at home, I'm immediately turned to like Netflix, and I'm watching like The Office or whatever series I'm binging at the time, because like it is so nice to just turn your brain off. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you could be meditating, but also like, which, you know, I've tried to replace here and there, but like.
But you know, if it's doing the same thing, if it's decompressing you, then that's, you know, there's no right or wrong. And that's like the whole point of this conversation is like self-care is whatever it means to you, whatever it looks like to you, whatever makes you feel relaxed and better.
And The Office does that for me every time.
Pro tip.
No, and honestly, even like, which is kind of unrelated, but like I remember anytime I would have like anxiety in my past relationships, like
I would watch The Office.
I would just watch Netflix, because I can
escape.
I can just put all of my focus into something and like kind of just avoid thinking about it. So,
which also dabbles on the fine line of sabotage. No? Could be.
No, I don't think so. Well, no, because
if it's excessive, if it's out of harmony.
Well, no, I was just saying like anytime like I think I talked about that maybe a few episodes ago.
You were upset about things, but
remember I would get like those anxiety attacks.
Oh, okay.
Like when like my ex would be like out all night and like not texting me back, and I'd be worried as fuck. Like I'd be like, all right, well, I'm turning on Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, and just get lost in it.
Because otherwise, I'm gonna sit here and
go insane,
like ruin myself over it. Like literally, I get like my anxiety is like gets me like physically sick. So I mean for me, like that's self-care is like turning that off.
I mean that's an aid in that situation.
Yeah,
it's like absolutely. A medicine. The next one is social self-care, which I would say is like family time, friend time, spending time with friends who make you feel good, but also not hanging out with friends who leave you feeling drained.
Yeah, huge.
That's huge. Because you literally, I mean, you guys, you can feel the difference when you leave. Like, I never feel better when I'm, did I say that right? I never feel better when I'm leaving. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Like, no.
Like, I feel best.
You feel your best.
I feel my best when I leave like a family gathering from hanging out with my sister, Tyler, and my dad in Florida, or my mom and my sister. Like, I literally in my car can feel my energy feeling so good and fulfilled.
You feel fulfilled, yeah.
Yeah. That's so why, like, that is 100% self-care.
100%.
And making the time for those people and those relationships in your life and nurturing them.
Yeah, absolutely. I go down to Homestead all the time to hang out with my brother and sister.
I love when you go to Homestead because I know you're being recharged.
Yeah, you just gotta like get away.
Because it's away from, it's not Miami, it's not Brickell. You're with your siblings and your mom and in your home that you grew up in. Well, not grew up, but you know,
I'm part of my life.
It's your home. Like your family home. Yeah. So I like feel like, I don't know, I get happy when you go there. Okay. The last one is safety and security self-care. So this is pretty much like staying on top of like your finances. And for me, I put like staying on top of admin work, taxes, paperwork, bills, because like someone could argue that that's not self-care, but it 100% is if you're not paying your bills, like that is going to stress you out more. Make sure you're on top of that shit.
Not paying your taxes is not self-care.
It is not.
Let me tell you right now, brothers.
What episode is that?
Not paying.
I think that was our first adulting.
Yeah.
We talked about how Jess owed like $2,000 in taxes. So.
Well, and I didn't pay my tolls.
Oh, the tolls were $2,000, and then she hadn't paid taxes in like 3 years. Yeah, give that episode a listen.
I am so grown now. I have an accountant.
Yes.
My tolls are paid off. I have a sun pass.
We love that for you.
Wow. The glow up is real.
We've come so far. 2 seasons later.
Truly. I mean, I have under there, I also have my monthly budget that I do.
Yes. I love that you do that too.
Yeah. I mean,
that's totally self-care.
I need to be on it more.
Yeah.
But I mean, having a savings account, like putting stuff in there, putting like as a freelancer,
having a retirement account,
having the retirement account.
Even like, not putting yourself in debt is self-care,
Yeah, definitely something that I struggle with.
Not sabotaging yourself into thinking, oh, I deserve a $300 shopping spree when you're putting it on a credit card or something along the lines of that.
Even I think like getting healthcare.
Oh my God, which I need to do. Healthcare is literally self-care, and I need to get on that.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, I avoid going to
the doctor.
I get worried. I'm like, dude, I can't get hurt because I can't afford the bills.
Oh my God, yeah. If you don't have health insurance,
it's ridiculous.
You fucking can't.
I have to move to Canada.
Yeah, even like paperwork and admin work. Like for me, being organized with that stuff, like especially when I was like getting the mortgage and collecting all the receipts for the renovation, like I had to stay on top of that, because if not, I would just get so anxious about things that, could go over budget on stuff here and there. Even like I got jury duty and I didn't go because I was in Fort Lauderdale, whatever. Besides the point, I had to make sure that I got a new ID, because if not, I would have went to jail.
Yeah. So
because I didn't show up to jury duty. So like making sure that I was on top of that. I was calling them every day to be like, hey, I didn't make it, but not because I'm a delinquent, because of this reason, and I'm being excused. But something like staying on top of that, like,
not letting things fall on the back burner.
Parking tickets.
Yeah. I'm actually about to go pay those today.
Yeah.
So you can look at all these different types of self-care, which I'll go through the list really quick one more time. Emotional, spiritual, intellectual, social, safety, and security. When you look at all these different types of self-care, like you can look at them when you're setting goals and make sure that you're doing things that are hitting all of these boxes. Like it's how it's how you feel nourished. Like it's how you operate.
Guys, I write this down. Like I know a lot of you are driving, but I would, when you get to wherever you're going, or if you're at home, like literally put a pen on paper and write these things down and write what they look like to you, because it really does help. It helps yourself hold yourself accountable. Like for me, definitely seeing these things and like putting it out of my brain into words, I'm like, oh, okay, I do need to spend more time in nature. Oh, okay, I do. If something is on my chest, it's a good reminder that I don't want that shit on my chest, So it's good to get it out of your noggin.
For sure.
It makes it real.
And in contrast to that, self-sabotage can very easily self-care can easily become self-sabotage.
Yep.
And, self-care becomes problematic when we begin to use it for immediate gratification.
Yeah, and that's like such a good way to define it and differentiate. Thank you. Differentiate the difference, because there is a very fine line, and it is hard to navigate, because like, boy, you'll be thinking you're really taking care of yourself, but let me tell you, the devil works harder, and your ass will be in bed for 4 hours before you know it, scrolling TikTok. I mean, I'm just speaking from experience. So it is hard. It's hard to navigate because, like we said, things have to be in harmony. So like this is a small example. At the end of the work week, someone going out Friday and, saying, oh, I deserve a drink. I've had a really hard work week. And then they end up blacking out. It's like, yeah, you deserve a drink or 2, 3, whatever the fuck your limit is. You deserve to take the edge off. And that's a form of self-care. Yeah. But it turns into self-sabotage when you end up blacking out.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, and blacking out's not good for anyone.
And it's knowing yourself and like what is best for yourself. Because no one can tell you what's best for yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, like, another few small examples is things like comfort eating or procrastinating or taking a mental health day. Because let's say if you're comfort eating, and you're like, oh, this is self-care, like, this feels so good.
I deserve this.
But you're gonna feel like shit after it.
Yeah.
And your body's gonna hurt.
Is it really self-care?
It's not self-care.
If you're lactose intolerant and you're eating a sundae.
Like, that's not good for you.
Yeah,
sweetie.
it's not good for you.
I mean, procrastinating or taking a mental health day, like, if you're like, oh, well, I deserve the extra 10 minutes in bed, or I deserve to take this day, but you're actually getting behind on deadlines, that's like future self-sabotage. That's you not loving your future self enough to be like, all right, like I'm going to be disciplined now to take this time, knock this shit out. And then
that's a great point. Discipline is self-care.
Really
I mean,
is.
that's my fucking background, and I still forget that. Like, for me, my daily struggle is like, and we've mentioned this so many times, is not having a normal job and not having to show up somewhere. Even though when I did have a normal job, I still was late every day because I still struggled with this. So even when I have somewhere to be, I still fucking run late because I can't get my ass out of bed. And it's totally a self-sabotage of like, I deserve to sleep in. And I think for so long, I worked like such busy days. Like there is a time frame after high school and during college where I was non-fucking stop, like just working events and bar mitzvahs and go-go dancing on the weekends and then waking up early for jobs, where I felt like it was the busiest I had ever been. And then like I feel like since after that time period, after we quit our job, I would sleep in because I was like, oh, I deserve this. I'm gonna like milk this for as long as possible. Like 3 years later, I feel like I'm still fucking doing that. And that's on self-sabotage, friends.
Facts.
Let me tell you.
So reevaluate yourself, check what your intention is. Make sure that you're not just hurting your future self.
Yeah, because if you end up more, if you end up more stressed than you were before, that's a clear line of, it's not self-care. It's just not. True self-care is about intention. And you really have to figure out like what, if that intention is to be nourishing your mind, soul, and body, or if it's in the end going to not and take away from it. Yeah, and I just think it's really important that for us and our listeners, like the takeaways for this is really just identifying and eliminating the habits that aren't serving you. Like for example, binging on negative news on Twitter or scrolling TikTok for hours. Like, trust me. And that also could be self-care because TikTok makes me laugh. But also if I'm on it for 3 hours, that's
excessive.
That's excessive.
Everything in moderation.
And yeah, just focusing on the things that do bring you joy instead and finding time to work self-care into your daily routine. Like no matter what it looks like, whether it's 5 minutes of meditation or if
getting a workout in,
sipping on a latte that you really enjoy. I encourage our listeners to really just think about those things. Like what fills you?
And even you can think about these things. Like, I like that you said that, like, cause it really is all about intention, because like you could be like running all day and being like, oh, well, I need this coffee. But like, if you really just take a moment and be like,
do I need this coffee?
Well, no. I was going to be like, if you take that moment and you're like, you just like sip on that latte and you're like, this is so good. Like I needed this. Like it turns into like a little act of self-love and self-care. Rather, it's about like living, like taking every day, like every step, everything that you do and having intention with it. And because like when you're just like lost in the sauce and like moving from thing to thing, that's what drains you. Yeah. But if you're enjoying every moment, because you could easily be like, fuck, I have to drive here now. But if you like if you're present during that drive, like it could be a nice drive. It could be soothing for you.
Totally.
So,
that's how I felt.
Things like that.
Yeah, that's how I felt about like last weekend. I went to Universal, and then the weekend after that, I went to the Keys. And like I could have looked at both drives. Like, oh God, I had to drive 2 hours. But like, I love that time. That is like,
time.
Instead of dreading it, I'm like, those are hours that I get to just like
have to yourself.
Think, have ideas, be creative, like creating space or just using space you already have to be intentional about it instead of just like totally numbing my brain with some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I'll sit in silence and I'll wait for ideas to come to me, because if you let your brain go, it fucking goes.
Yeah, it's just about having that space to allow it to do so.
And to be intentional. So yeah, just if I could encourage anything for our listeners and for us, we're going to work on gradually ditching the habits that aren't serving us and thinking about the long term. And remember that self-care, like life, is a journey and not a destination.
Facts.
Yeah. So this isn't, I'm going to, check it off my list for this year that I've mastered self-care. No, this is like anything.
And it's going to change. And it's going to change and it's going to evolve. And just check in with yourself.
Yeah. See where you're at.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into tea time.
Any other comments, concerns?
No.
Okay. I think we're good.
Get some water.
Self-care.
Hydrate.
Oh my God. That's honestly a huge one. Drink your fucking water. Stay hydrated.
You thirsty bitch. You dehydrated bitch.
All right. So we are going to go into our tea time games. Clink. Okay. We are playing Never Have I Ever.
I'm excited for this.
I'm scared.
You should be.
Oh my God.
All right, guys. So we have 10 fingers up. We don't know if we're playing this right.
I don't think we are, but here we go.
Here goes
Fuck
nothing.
Fuck it.
Okay, so I'll go first.
Okay.
Never have I ever had sex in public.
What do you consider public?
I knew you were gonna say that. I don't know. Anywhere where like someone else could like see you. It could be like a car in a parking lot or like in a closet or
Been done. Or the second floor of your man's job.
Sick. Love that
Next.
for you. I remember that actually.
Yeah. Never have I. That will be in our Let's Talk About Sex episode where we talk about craziest places we've had sex. Okay. Never have I ever shoplifted from a store.
We both put a finger down for that.
Yeah. Also, I'm just realizing if you're listening to this, guys, go
You
to
won't be able to see
go
this.
to the fucking YouTube and watch this. Sorry.
Well, we'll say what fingers. We
Okay,
have
yeah,
down.
yeah.
So I put down a finger. So did
I
she.
have 2 fingers down so far. She has 1.
I have 1. Never have I ever eaten ass.
Never, bitch.
Okay.
And that's on I don't need ass.
Okay, good for you. Good for you, boo. I don't
Did
know.
you put a finger down?
No, I didn't put a
She
finger
goes,
down.
I don't know. I ain't judging.
I've never eaten ass,
Hey,
but
live your truth.
exactly.
Never have I ever texted the person I was talking bad about in the message.
Oh, like sent it to them on
Yes.
accident? I've definitely done that.
Oh.
I
haven't.
I meant to send it to you and I sent it to her.
Oh, God. Because you're thinking about that person and then you end up
Yes.
fucking sending it to them.
Or you might be talking to them at the moment and the messages are right next to each other. We did that with someone.
Oh, yeah.
And then remember,
It's like in a group chat, and then there's like a just you and that person chat, and then you put it in the wrong fucking one. My mom just did that, talking shit about my sister. I'm done.
oh shit.
Yeah. She was like, Noelle needs to wake the fuck up. She can't keep living in this bubble. And then she's like, oops, well, at least now you know.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
know the truth.
no regrets, honestly. Like, if I say something, like, it's not something that I
YOLO.
wouldn't say to someone's face.
Facts. Okay.
So we both have 2
2 fingers down.
Never have I ever hooked up with a girl.
Finger down, brother.
Finger down, brother.
Never have I ever pretended to wash my hands by turning the water on just in case someone's listening. The 3 of us put our fingers down.
All right, Olivia has. Wait, is that so? You have a thumb.
I have a thumb.
She has a thumb and a hand. I have 7 fingers up still.
Zach has mine.
That's hilarious. I've done that though. I've 100%.
We all have.
I mean, because sometimes like I don't want
Like,
people
you
to
don't
think
have
that.
to wash. Like, you sometimes you're like,
Even though in the last episode we're like, wash your fucking hands.
your fucking hands, coronavirus.
Well, because sometimes you're like, I don't want to like get my hands all wet, but like I'll use hand sanitizer.
or
but
if I'm
you,
like cold.
oh, you can't make me.
Okay,
you
go.
can't make me be
Sometimes I'm
clean.
like, I didn't touch anything.
Right. Especially for guys.
Yeah, you hardly even
Like,
touch your
hang on.
dick.
No hands in that bitch. Okay, go.
By the way, I'm at 7, but I won't tell you which ones.
Oh. Well, I know you fucked up with a girl. Okay, go.
Yeah, I think I'm actually at 6.
Never have I ever been given a lap dance.
Down.
Okay.
Had my fair share of strip club dances.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Never have I ever peed in the sink.
I don't think I've ever peed in a sink.
Really? You've never been like drunk and like someone else is like sitting on the
No.
toilet and you're like, oh, gotta go.
Peeing
Actually,
peeing
I
in a
don't
bathtub.
think I have done that. Now that I'm thinking, I think I've watched a friend do that. I don't think I've personally done that myself.
I've definitely peed in a bathtub.
That's not a sink. It's just a larger sink.
It's a large sink.
Okay.
Bathtubs are just large sinks.
Conspiracy theory.
Okay, my last one. Never have I ever had a threesome.
What do you consider a threesome?
I don't know. 2 people making out with them at the same time, doing
Does it
things.
have to be sex to be a threesome?
Depends. Are we talking oral sex?
I guess oral sex is sex.
Put a finger down, brother.
Boom. Down. Okay, my last one is never have I ever been in handcuffs. Put that shit down, bitch. What the fuck? I know your ass has been cuffed. All right, I have 4. Jess has 6. Wow, you're just a goody two-shoes, aren't you?
I'm a saint.
Yeah, whatever.
Love that for me.
All right, guys, that wraps it up.
Yeah.
Hope you have an amazing week. If you've enjoyed this, please share with a friend and please share on your stories. And if you're feeling super generous, write us a review and give us a rating on iTunes.
Love that for us.
Yes.
All right, brothers. Happy Monday.
Happy
if
Monday.
You're listening on Monday.
Or on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Have a great week.
Have a great week. And don't forget to take care of yourself.
Love
Peace,
you.
brothers.